Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy St. Patrick's Day. Welcome to episode 4 of Yo Comics and No Agenda Live. Glad you could join me for a few minutes on this Sunday and this St. Patty's Day. Um, Gonna wait for a few people to show up here in the chat. My shout out to my moderator, Needmo Comics, who was here probably 20 minutes early. Tomb of Comics, what's up? Perry Comics, good to see you, bro. No Good Comics, what's up, buddy? Thanks, guys, for stopping by. RB3 says I don't see green. Well, I'll get to the green in a second. But you're right. I did slip on that a little bit, but I did wear this Batman hat that I love. Thank you. No Good Comics, digging the Batman fitted. Hey, Stay Puff, what's going on? Stacy's weekly comic book picks. Good to see you. So I'll give it a couple more moments before I get into the show here, but hope everybody's doing well and enjoying the Sunday and the St. Patty's Day holiday. I don't know if what you guys do for St. Patty's. I typically and I drink the Guinness. So here's the Guinness Drought Stout, and we got these collectible bottles. I don't really collect bottles, but these are, I guess, supposedly collectible bottles. And I was helping my buddy bake the snake last night on his birthday auction, and he connected the dots and said that this reminded him of the first Hellboy appearance, the San Diego Comic-Con book, and that was a good pull. I do think this sort of is reminiscent of that. But anyway, cheers, everybody. So I typically drink Guinness all day on St. Patty's Day, and then to keep myself hydrated, I drink the green apple Gatorade in between, and just make sure that I'm got the electrolytes going on as well. So that's the green for today. Hopefully there's some green also in the books that we open up later. We'll see. Let me see what's going on here. RB3 says, I think since you don't have green, you owe us all a green comic book. Well, we'll see about that. Gomez, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you, man. Tomb of Comics went to a St. Patty's carnival / parade yesterday. Got a red neck sunburn for his trouble. Wow. Sunburn is no joke, man. It is not fun. Perry Comics missed that auction. I wanted that Teen Titans number 12. Yeah, and he that lot went for a steal, man. I think it went for like $110, maybe, if I remember right. And there was a gorgeous Virgin variant for Batman Who Laughs number 1 in that lot as well. So Daniel Ybarra, welcome. First time catching the live stream. Appreciate that. All right, guys. So I'm going to get right into it. So before I get to the luck of the Irish later, which I'll fill you in about. I'm going to show a couple sort of recent trades that I picked up, because I'm always big on the trades and the hardcovers. So first up, we got this is not really a trade. This is more of an index. This is the Amazing Spider-Man official index to the Marvel Universe. So basically what it is you can sort of flip through it here. It's basically an index of all the Spider-Man books from all the way, back from Amazing Fantasy 15 to, I think, the ASM run around 2009, 2010. And for every issue, it sort of gives you the credits for every book. It gives you sort of the key items, supporting characters, synopsis. So I picked this up because it was super cheap, and I'm probably just going to put it in my backpack every time I go hunting, and especially for Spider-Man or ASM. I just find it more convenient to flip through a book like this than to pull out like Key Collector app or just be browsing on my internet while also hunting. I don't know. So specifically for ASM, I wanted to pick this up because that's what I collect probably more than anything. So pretty useful, pretty cool. Didn't cost me a lot at all, so it's pretty nice to have. But I'm just gonna say a couple more what's up to people in the chat. I got some more people joining here, so it looks like we've got Jeffrey Comic Con Henson. Good to see you, man. Love you. JP's Budget Collecting. How you doing, buddy? And I just announced a collaboration with JP's Budget Collecting, so I will circle back to that later and make sure I mention it. Barbarian Kung Fu. Good to see you, bro. Ed D. Thanks for stopping by. DS Comics. What's up, buddy? Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. I was saying earlier, I'm drinking the Guinness Drought Stout today for my St. Paddy's festivities. So cheers, everybody. All right, next up. Picked up Old Man Hawkeye trades. So volume 1, volume 2. I did not read this series, and it's something I wanted to read. So I picked up the 2 trades as far as single issues goes, but I missed the boat on collecting the run off the shelf. So I will read it via the trade paperbacks, and I hope to enjoy the series. Next up, we've got, so this, I actually picked this up from a recommendation from Alec, White Whale Comics, and Jesper Nikolaj Christensen, I think is his name. So those 2 guys, they have a new collaboration stream show that they're calling No Keys Required or No Keys. I forget exactly what it's called. It's something about like no keys necessary or something like that, where basically they're talking about storylines or issues or runs that you should check out just because they're good stories, not necessarily because they have major key issues involved that have a lot of value to them. So Alec had recommended this book, Gotham Central by Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka. So I picked up the first volume of this, and based on White Whale's recommendation, he said it kind of felt like a police procedural with the Gotham Central PD, and that sounded pretty interesting to me. I didn't opt to get the entire hardcover like omnibus or whatever. I just picked up the volume 1, which I'm assuming covers the first 6 issues. I don't know that for sure, but I am interested in getting into this and checking it out, and maybe it'll show up on the show that JP and I are doing someday. We'll see. Good to see you, Discovery Bay Comics. Thank you for stopping by. Who else is in here? Backseat Driver 5280. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for showing up. And Jeffrey Comic-Con and Mo are doing a great job moderating, keeping the chat going. Appreciate you guys. So pick this up. Looking forward to reading it. Let's move on. So next up, I kind of went down a mini Tom King rabbit hole, if you will. Like, take a quick sip here. So I went down a little mini Tom King rabbit hole because, I've read Mr. Miracle twice. I read it single issues and via the trade paperback. I'm really, really loving Heroes in Crisis right now. Although I will admit the last issue that came out, I think it was issue 6, didn't blow me away. Wasn't a big fan of that one, so I'm hoping it picks back up, turns around a little bit once issue 7 comes out. But I do have faith in Tom King. So I wanted to basically go check out the Tom King works that I haven't read. And I put together a little in-stock trades order. So let's start with the Omega Men. So this is Tom King and Barnaby Bagenda. So I'm not very familiar with Omega Men, but I am looking forward to checking it out purely based on Tom King's involvement. But if you guys know anything about this book, or have read this book, or have any feedback on this book, please share it in the chat. Definitely looking forward to checking out all the Tom King stuff that I have not read. So this was the first one on the list for me, and picked that up for like 42% off or whatever on in-stock trades. Next up, we've got a hardcover. This is also Tom King. This is the Sheriff of Babylon. So this is Tom King and Mitch Gerrits, whom, of course, he has been collaborating on all of his more popular work. And again, not a ton I know about this series, except for that it takes place, I believe, in the Iraq War to some degree. But this is the hardcover deluxe edition, and I believe it collects the entire series, all 12 issues. So if anybody has read this, let me know what you think. Looking forward to checking that out as well. And then also on the Tom King front, I picked up the Vision hardcover. So got this also in stock trade. Now this is a book that I have read. It's a 12-issue series, Tom King. And I read it digitally. So when I went to go reread it, I was like, nah, fuck this. I'm going to go get a trade or a hardcover so I can actually read it real paper style. So pick that up. Looking forward to rereading this. Excellent series. If you have not read this, I highly recommend this. It's an absolutely amazing story. So check that out if you haven't. And then finally on the trade paperback front, it's going to take me a second to pull these up. Let's see. So I blazed through the first deluxe hardcover volume of Y the Last Man, and I am now halfway through the second hardcover deluxe for Y the Last Man. So I figured I was going to basically catch up to the whole series pretty quickly. So I picked up the third volume in the Y the Last Man deluxe, the fourth volume, and the fifth volume. So I now have the whole series here in the library, so I can be fully caught up on this series, which I'm thoroughly enjoying after 1.5 volumes, about 15 issues or so into the run. So that's going to be it as far as the trades and hardcovers that I picked up recently. Now I am going to do a little mini video game haul, of which, I've never done a video game haul. I'm not a huge video gamer, and I don't really make the time to play video games that often, but picked up these two games. They're both comic book related. So, of course, we have Spider-Man PS4. I've heard nothing but awesome things about this game. And, I've been watching a little bit of Fire Guy Ryan's live playthroughs on his YouTube channel for this game. And, of course, there's just stuff all over the internet on this game that you can go down rabbit holes watching. And I figured, why not? Finally, let me give it a shot. I don't know when I'm going to dedicate like an entire Saturday or Sunday to dive into this right now, but I like the fact that I have it, and that I can, if the inspiration strikes, I will just carve out a whole day and get into this game. So that's one. And then the other game I picked up is Batman Arkham Knight. So Comic Geek McD speaks very highly of this game, I believe, and the Arkham games are pretty popular in general. So there you go. I got a Batman game and I got a Spider-Man game. Those are my favorite characters to read and collect. So looking forward to playing a few video games that are comic book related. And then, we'll see what happens. So What's up, Ruben Nieves? What's up, Raul? Raul's one of my buddies here in Brooklyn. Perry Comics, what's going on? Oh, I think you've been here. So let's see here. What do I have next? Oh, so I don't really show Star Wars related books too often, but I'm starting to get into some Star Wars novels, especially uh, I've got Star Wars Celebration coming up in a couple weeks. So I picked up this book from Claudia Gray. It's Lost Stars. I already had the graphic novel adaptation, so here's the novel and here's the graphic novel adaptation. So I plan on getting through both of them sometime in the next couple of weeks, or bringing them with me to Chicago, so I can read them. At the hotel room during downtime at the con. So that should be fun. Rod, Just a Rican Comics, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Good to see you. Hey, I'm encouraged with the turnout here on 1 p.m. Eastern on St. Paddy's Day. Thanks, buddies. Nemo Comics is asking me. I'm not going to C2E2. I am not. I will be going like 2 weeks after C2E2 for the Star Wars con, so I couldn't fit 2 trips to Chicago for cons within a period of 2 weeks. It just wasn't really realistic for me. So, let's see what's going on in the chat here. Jeffrey Comic Con has been watching the Star Wars marathon all weekend. Oh, they're doing one of those? What channel? Is it like TNT or something? Perry Comics, yeah, I watched Comic McD play Arkham. Looks good. JP says never read Vision, but it's on the list. It's fantastic. Check it out when you can, man. Barbarian. Okay, when's the Joker that gave my boy a thumbs down? Savage. So that's funny, Barbarian, is that I noticed that the second I put up this URL on like Friday or Saturday to let people know that the stream was happening, somebody gave me a thumbs down. So looks like I have officially joined the club of comic book channels that have haters that thumb me down before I've even made the content. So that's pretty funny. I kind of feel proud that I've achieved that level of comic book community notoriety, that someone feels the need to thumb me down. That's pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, JB says join the club. Exactly. So yeah, I actually, it's almost like I'm being knighted into the next level of YouTubers. I don't know, but it is funny. It's funny to me. And I welcome all thumbs downs and thumbs ups. It's totally cool with me. So last weekend here in New York City was Big Apple Comic Con 2019. So I went to day one, so last Saturday. So I'm going to do a little mini review of Big Apple Comic Con. So I went last Saturday for day one, and it was a beautiful, gorgeous day here in New York City. One of those days that you get here, rarely towards the end of winter, where it's like it's not too cold out, it's not too hot, the humidity level is perfect. You get a nice little cool breeze when you walk down the street. The weather couldn't have been more beautiful and perfect for day one of Big Apple Comic Con. Now the con itself takes place at a hotel called the Hotel Pennsylvania in Midtown Manhattan. It's near Madison Square Garden, near Penn Station, so it's around that part of the city, and takes place on the second floor in this sort of open area that they call like the pavilion of the hotel. So it's a pretty cool setup. They have an artist alley. They got a lot of dealers. CGC is there. It's not nearly at the level or scale of New York Comic Con, which happens in the Jacob Javits Convention Center, but it's kind of like the small con version of that, where they pack in um, as many dealers as they possibly can into the space, as many artists as they can get into the space. A few, knickknack style vendors, like non-comic vendors, but almost 90% comic vendors. I saw, a t-shirt vendor, maybe a couple like poster toy style vendors, but 90% comic vendors. So it's a pretty enjoyable con. That said, the weather outside was perfect, but the temperatures inside were sweaty hot as hell. So it was pretty brutal in there. And it's very, very compacted. So you're kind of dodging people while also trying not to sweat and ignore the stink to some degree as well. So that part of it I didn't really enjoy that much, but the actual con itself was really good. There were cosplayers, um, not a ton of cosplayers. Mostly, it's a comic book focused or centric con, and I had a good time. I was there for about 7 hours on Saturday. I only bought one book plus a mystery box, which I'm gonna unbox shortly, and I'll get into what that is. I was able to also meet up with a few IG Comic family members and go out for drinks, which was pretty cool, including Bill, uh, whose handle on Instagram is Comics NYC. So he's Comics NYC, and I'm Comic Books NYC on Instagram. And we had been talking on there for a while, but we finally actually met up and hung out at Big Apple Comic Con. So that was pretty funny. And then we also hung out a little bit with a few other guys afterwards. This guy Phantom Restoration, who used to work for Metropolis, but now is sort of on his own doing restoration, removal, and restoration and pressing kind of services. And then also Robbie's Comics, who's an LCS owner in Jersey, possibly. And then also a guy named Freshly Baked Collectibles, who's a store and art dealer out of the San Francisco Bay Area, and he was in town for the con. So got to meet and hang out with a couple cool peeps. I also found out later that there were other YouTubers there, but I didn't run into them while I was there. Didn't really see them, so that might have been a little bit of a missed opportunity. But all in all, I felt like I had a pretty cool con. Now I did in my backpack have a few books that I brought to the con with me. So I brought, so Jim Steranko was supposed to be there. So I brought my X-Men 50 and a few Nick Fury books, where he did the covers, with me in my backpack. I brought a slab that I had sold to I Got Issues, Chris, on our last auction, and I just, after the auction, after he paid for shipping, after he paid for the book and he paid for shipping, I was like, well, if we're both going to be at Big Apple Con, I'll just bring the book to the con, and then I refunded his shipping. So I brought that with me in my backpack, plus an extra book for him. So I kind of had a full backpack when I got to the con, or a half full backpack when I got to the con. So I was carrying more weight around before I had even bought anything. So that was a little bit of an inconvenience. And then Jim Steranko ended up canceling because he had a personal emergency or a family emergency, and totally understandable. But he announced it on his Twitter that that he had to cancel basically both days his appearances at Big Apple Comic Con. So I had those Steranko cover books with me essentially for no reason, taking up weight in my bag. And then I also had issues books taking up weight in my bag. And he ended up not coming to the con because Steranko was the only reason he would have paid the entry fee, because he wanted to get some of his books signed. as well. So I ended up having all this sort of extra weight to carry around all day, which was a little bit annoying. But other than that, I really enjoyed the con. This was the program. As you can see, you got Luke Cage on it. Mike Coulter was there, so I saw him there. I didn't really want to wait in a line or pay money to take a photo or have him sign anything or anything, but I did see him there. So that was pretty cool. Um, so yeah, I mean, all in all, a good Big Apple Comic Con. This is the only book that I bought. This is a very high grade raw copy of the Spectacular Spider-Man magazine, issue 2 from 1968. A fantastic John Romita cover, uh, which is just probably I mean, it's up there. It's probably my favorite John Romita cover of all time. And this is I mean, this is like a 9.4 possibly or higher, that hasn't been pressed or cleaned. And I got a fantastic deal on this book. So this was the only book I actually bought at the con, but I did pick up a mystery box. So that's what I'm going to do next is from the Metropolis booth, I picked up this $100 mystery. So probably one of the more expensive mystery boxes I've ever gotten. And I almost got it out of boredom because I just wasn't. Because I was for the rest of the con, I was taking books out, constantly taking books out, reviewing the books or looking over the books, and then putting the books back. So I was being very, very, I guess, conservative with my buying at this con. But before I get into opening the mystery box, I'm going to say a quick what's up to some more folks that have joined the chat here. Let's see here. Who else is in here now? I think Discovery Bay has been in here. And looks like they're going back and forth a little bit. Get a sip in here. JP, you'll be at that level in no time, bro. Your channel is great. And I wanted to partner with you for that very reason. Wapty Bird, good to see you. Let's see here. John's Comics with Kids, good to see you, man. Love the thumbnail for this video. Yeah, I know. I spent like an hour making it. That's the Simpsons leprechaun. If you're if you connect the dots from where that came from. Mr. Garrel, good to see you. Hello all watching on TV, but I couldn't handle not commenting. That's pretty funny. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. So let's see. Does everyone want me to get into the mystery box? So here's the details, okay? Metropolis Comics sells these mystery boxes. They only sell them at cons. You cannot buy these on Instagram. You cannot buy these on eBay. And you cannot, as far as I know anyway, and you cannot buy these on what's it called? On their website or anything like that. They only have them from what I've seen at their booths at New York Comic Con and Big Apple Con. So Joe Ryan says, "Yo, NYC, watch out for the puking people out in the streets today." That's a good tip. Yes, I will do that. So the price of entry on this was $100, which is a pretty pricey, but they did have $20 boxes, $50 and $50 boxes. But I just figured that I had only spent my money on one book at the con, and which was I got a great deal on. It was a very high grade copy. So I had a bunch of cash in my pocket, just burning a hole in my pocket, and I felt like, let's just take the risk. And then I was gonna open the box while I was there, or at least when I got home. but I saw that St. Patty's Day was coming up the following weekend, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna open this up on St. Patty's. And one of the St. Patty's tropes is to like test your luck. The luck of the Irish, the luck of the leprechauns, good fortune, and all that. So I'm hoping that that occurs here. Um, it says for $100 you get 10 comic books worth between $180 and $200 over street guide value, and a chance to win big. So I don't have the latest copy of the Overstreet Guide. If somebody in the chat does, maybe you can help out and throw some values in. But I will probably do some price research on whatever ends up being in here afterwards, and I might do a post on Instagram saying these are the books I got for $100, and this is what they are as far as Overstreet goes. So, without further ado, I am going to open this, and let's see what we got here. It's a little yellow sticker holding the box together. Okay. Mr. Garrell, man, I need that box. Yeah, like I said, I've only seen this box in New York area cons where Metropolis Comics are there. Metropolis, I believe, travels to non-New York area cons, but that's where their home office is, in New York. So they're definitely representing at the New York shows. All right, so it's a healthy stack of books in here. So I send you the luck or the Irish or American or something. Yep. All right. First book is DC, Justice Society of America #1. I don't know much about this one. I, off the top of my head, don't know why it might be key or why it might be valuable. If any of you guys know, let me know. That was the first book. Second book, Doctor Strange #1. This looks like it's some sort of action figure variant of some kind. Not entirely sure. Doctor Strange #1. Not sure what volume this is, but it's a $4.99 price tag, so it's got to be pretty modern book. John Tyler Christopher variant. Yeah, he does a lot of those action figure variants for Star Wars books, I know. Looks like we have a 35 center Shazam #33. Shazam #33. It's a newsstand copy. I do not read Shazam, so I'm not an expert on what is key. What's up, H-Town Comics? How you doing? So you guys will have to tell me if you know anything about that one. This was a cool looking book. So this is, let's see, Frankenstein Monster #13. This is a 25-cent Bronze Age book. Although it doesn't have a newsstand or a direct edition marking on it. That's interesting. JP says Justice Society might be first Jesse Quick. Oh, interesting. So that's a pretty cool book. I don't know much about it, but it's pretty cool. Ooh, now we have a Bronze Age #1 here. So we've got Knight Rider #1. Knight Rider #1. It's pretty cool. Another book I don't really know much about, but looks like it has some potential. Next up, we've got Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 127. Shark cover. That's pretty cool. That's a really cool cover, actually. Look at that. That David Hasselhoff. I don't know. I think is he talking about the last book or this book? Anyway, this is pretty cool. And then we've got, let's see, Phantom Stranger, number 17. Phantom Stranger, number 17. That looks interesting. Okay, at least some books now here that I'm recognizing. Invincible Iron Man, 122. Gorgeous. See what the condition is here on this. This is a newsstand copy. It's got a little bit of a spine roll, but not too bad. You know, this is, of course, a Dave Cockrum. Fantastic cover. It could benefit from a press, but I don't know if this is the kind of book I would really submit or anything. But it's a nice PC book for sure. And then Fantastic Four, number 115. That's pretty cool. I just sold my 112 recently on the one of the White Whale auctions. But it's always nice to have early Fantastic Four, especially in a mystery box scenario. And then we have, this is the last book. This is From Beyond the Unknown, number 4. So I do not really know much about this book. So I'll have to do some research. So quick recap. We had Justice Society of America, number 1. Potentially a key issue. According to JP, might be the first Jesse Quick. Then we had Doctor Strange, number 1. John Tyler Christopher variant. Action figure variant. Then we got Shazam, number 33. Frankenstein Monster, number 13. Knight Rider, number 1. Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 127. Phantom Stranger, number 17. Classic Invincible Iron Man, Dave Cockrum, issue 122. Fantastic Four, 115. And From Beyond the Unknown, number 4. So I guess my initial reaction or thoughts on this mystery box for this price is that I can maybe guesstimate that there's somewhere between, you know, $70 to $150 in value, but I don't know enough about the books. Like I said, the sticker on the front of the box says that the books inside are $180, or that you get 10 comic books worth between $180 and $200 over Street Guide value. So that's over Street Guide value, whatever that means. Jeffrey Comic Con says, look them all up on eBay. You're at least at 100, depending upon condition, maybe even higher. So yeah, so I think that the value is there. For my personal collecting habits, like the books don't really match up with what I collect necessarily, with the exception of maybe the Iron Man and the Fantastic Four books. So I don't know. I would I buy one again? Probably not, based on this. Um, but then again, I don't really know enough about the issue. I want to say that this Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane is probably my favorite book actually in the box. Um, so there you go. Yeah, and agreed that that Overstreet doesn't really mean much. I would much rather see what it's selling for eBay based on different grades, um, but uh, but yeah, I'm not disappointed necessarily in the box, but I'm not blown away necessarily by that. So I don't know if it's 50-50 on whether I would do it again. I might do one of the lower value tiers the next time and maybe see if I get lucky on a $50 one or a $20 one. But then again, if this was what I got for the $100 one, um, you know, I don't know if going down in value is really gonna improve the results necessarily. But I'm not really disappointed in this result. I think the value was definitely in there. But it's going to be more. It's one of those boxes where it's kind of more work for me to figure it out from here. But I did get my money's worth. I guess my luck on St. Patty's Day is decent, but not exceptional. So I will take it. So what else do we have going on here in the chat? What is everybody else up to today for St. Patty's? Look at all this feedback here on the books. Hulk 181. Yeah, I wish. Like Shazam. Classic Marvel monster stuff is always great. Don't know much about those. Like the shark cover. Not sure value, but great covers. Jeff is definitely earning his wrench. Hey Dre Boogie. How you doing? Daniel Yabara. Yeah, they did have a chance for a Grail in the box. That was the sort of the tease. I don't know if they really specified the Grail at the booth. It's not like they had, a specific Grail that they mentioned. So, I was taking the risk, not expecting a specific Grail necessarily. Joe Ryan is going to his mom's with family for food and hanging out. That sounds good. Jeffrey says that he thinks I got my money's worth at least. Yeah, I think so too. I have seen a bunch of Tomo's comment Peter Parker Spider-Man booth boxes. I've seen a bunch of unboxings for those on YouTube. Like Whodat has been like buying a ton of those, and I think he got a giant size X-Men in one, but he's also bought like 10 or 12 of those boxes. So, I think he's put a decent amount of money into getting that big book back. What grade that giant size X-Men is, and what it'll come back at, I don't know. I'm not the one to buy like 10 or more of the same mystery box in a short amount of time and like really get that deep into it. I usually am just spur of the moment. And in this case, I didn't order it online. I was at a con, hanging out in front of the Metropolis booth, and yeah, John. I mean, I don't know if it's 12, so don't quote me on that for real. But like, I've seen 3 or 4 different videos, both on Whodat's channel and him on guest appearing on Tacoma's channel, which is when he won the giant size X-Men #1 out of the Peter Parker Spider-Man booth box, where I swear I've seen him unbox like at least 8, if not more, of these Peter Parker Spider-Man booth boxes. And I love Whodat, but he seems to be addicted to them. And so are some other people, I think, in the community, because I'm seeing unboxings for those pop up everywhere. I have not yet tried it myself. I don't know if I ever will. Mo says he buys 3 at a time when they come available. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, I don't know I don't know what their cadence is as far as how many boxes they make available and how frequently or any of that. I'm not an expert at that for sure, but they seem to be like they're worth the value. But I'm also not a big like variants guy or a big sign books like pre-signed books like on variants and things like that. I feel like a lot of what's in those boxes are like higher dollar value variants and signed stuff. When I say higher dollar value, I mean like the books are worth like $50 or $40 or $20, and you pay not a large amount to get in, so it seems like it's worth it from that standpoint. But every once in a while, somebody will win a Grail, like a Giant Size X-Men #1, and who dat happened to get lucky on that one, so which is awesome for him. So let's see. Wapty Bird says, "Nice seeing a comic mystery box. All I've ever seen at the Denver Con were the Funko and other collectible type stuff mysteries." Yeah, Ed D. Plus, they sell the filler books on the YouTube auctions. Hate that. Yeah, I mean, I probably would do the same. I mean, if I bought as many mystery boxes as some of these other guys do. Um, Economics pulled a New Mutants '98. Well, that's cool. Newsstand. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, they seem to be buying a lot of them, though. What's going here? Now, if I had John's luck, I would be all the mystery boxes. Yeah, I agree with JP. Want stuff that fits the collection, like because the reason why I've cut back on mystery boxes or really gone cold turkey, with the exception of um, this one, which was spur of the moment, um, is that I end up with a lot of books that just don't really fit with among the rest of my books. And then it's up to me of whether I decide like, okay, like, do I hold on to this book or these books and follow the value, or take a chance and read some of them just for pure reading enjoyment, or like, what do I do with these books that don't really fit who I am as a collector or my collecting goals? Do I throw them into AOKs because I do send out a lot of AOKs? Do I throw them on as extra books for people that buy books from me like buy bigger books from me in auctions, and throw in some freebies in there? It's a little bit hard for me to figure out what to do with a lot of these books sometimes. DS Comics says, yeah, I'd rather just buy one book I want than get a bunch of books that don't fit, taking up space. Yeah, me too. Do I regret buying this mystery box? No. Um, was it outside of the norm for me based on my current strategy? Yes, and I think it was possibly I bought it out of boredom or frustration a little bit, because I was at Big Apple Comic Con for like 6 or 7 hours, and I only bought one book. And I usually at cons I do some serious damage. And don't get me wrong, I love this book. This book fits everything I am, everything about who I am as a collector. Um, but I think it's possible that I just felt like I needed to spend some more, and so I went the mystery box route, which may or may not have been the smartest move. But I don't regret it. So it was still fun. I'm glad I could share it with you guys on St. Paddy's Day. Nerdy Couch, what's going on? Good to see you, man. So I'm going to start wrapping things up here, but before I do that, I'm going to do a quick sort of what's coming up reminder here in the next few weeks. So on Thursday night, March 21st, I am going to be on Tony Sanders' channel for What's Your Grail. I think that's at 10:30 Eastern, either 10:30 or 11 Eastern. I'm don't quote me on that, but I will post out the details But I will be on Tony Sanders' channel on Thursday night, March 21st, for the What's Your Grail show. And I will be showing, okay, Jeffrey said it's 8 p.m. PST. So that's 11 p.m. Eastern on Thursday night. I will be showing all of my big boy books. And, well, we'll see. I'll be showing a good chunk of my big boy books, my Silver Age, Major Keys, my Golden Age books. I might show some of my original art. And I'm going to be talking about what my current grails are that I don't have, that I am, hoping to achieve before my comic collecting days are over, you know. So it should be a good time. I hope you guys check that out. It is going to be late for us East Coasters, to Ed D's point in the chat, but it should be fun. So that's going to be happening next Thursday night. And then let's see what else. And then next Saturday, I don't remember the time off the top of my head, but I will be joining the Big Lion Cat auction. I don't think I'm going to be selling. I'm going to be joining as a guest, just hanging out, as the other dudes sell on Big Lion Cat's channel. And then the following Saturday, I might be joining as a seller. So first I'm going to join just to hang out. Next Saturday, the 23rd, Saturday the 23rd. So you catch me on Big Lion Cat's channel. My contest for my 250 subscribers ends on March 19th. So a lot of people have made videos. A lot of people have left comment entries. So that ends on March. So that ends in 2 days. So if you haven't entered already, you've got 2 days to either leave a comment on the contest video or make a video telling me a story. On Wednesday, the 20th, I do plan on going live and sharing the winner of the contest, and then also doing the drawing for prize or for second, third, and fourth place prizes for the prize packs. Barbarian Kung Fu, congrats! He just purchased his first Stan Lee signed book. That's awesome. I am very excited for you, and I look forward to seeing it on your channel. Or just let me know what it is on Instagram, because I am very curious. That's awesome. I might show some of my Stan Lee signed books as well on Thursday night on Tony's channel. So that should be cool too. But that's awesome, Barbarian. Congrats. So what else is coming up? So also, I uploaded a teaser to my channel, and Jason did as well to his channel. But on Thursday, April 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern, we are launching our new show, our new collaboration that we're calling Gotham City Chronicles. So we are kicking things off with Frank Miller's Year One. And basically, every episode, we're going to dive deep into a quintessential Batman storyline, run, trade, whatever it may be. We're going to kick things off with Frank Miller Year One, but we've talked about doing things like Long Halloween, Hush, Death in the Family, Court of Owls. So we're gonna focus each episode on a major story arc within the world of Batman, and it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna do the first episode on my channel on Thursday, April 4th, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then we will announce a episode schedule and reading guide for the show from there, wherein that I believe we're going to alternate channels. So the second episode will be on JP Budget Collecting, and we will announce dates as well as what storylines to read in advance of those shows. And it's going to be a deep dive into the world of Gotham. So again, that's Gotham City Chronicles. Me and JP's Budget Collecting, and it should be a good time. Other than that, I don't really have much going on. I mean, like I said, I've got What's Your Grail with Tony Sanders. I've got the big Lion Cat auction. I've got the live stream to announce the winner of the 250 subscriber contest, and then the drawing for the second, third, and fourth place prizes for the contest. I think I'm up to 360 something subscribers now, so I really, really want to thank everybody for the support. Um, I might do a 400 subscriber contest when I get there, so hopefully YouTube can throw me a few more subs, and then I'll be doing another contest, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Um, that's really all I can think of that I have going on. I know that there's some other things happening behind the scenes, so I think there will be some news about future shows slash teams, brands, whatever you want to call them, coming out soon and that I will be part of. So, which should be cool. I'm trying to spread my wings and get on some other people's channels while also hopefully continuing to make content for my channel when I can. I'm getting pretty busy with the personal life to some degree with a couple trips I'm taking for work, and then also vacation at Star Wars Celebration. And then I'm also working really hard to close on this new property and then get ready to move, which is going to happen in the next couple months. Probably going to end up moving in June. A few months to prepare for that, but that's going to be a big thing. Um, and that's really it. So I think 20 something people ish or more have joined this stream today on St. Paddy's Day, and I appreciate you guys for doing that. I'm going to cheers to you one more time with my San Diego Comic-Con Presents Guinness for St. Paddy's. Thank you, Ed D. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Just a Rican. Thank you, Barbarian Kung Fu. Thank you, Jeffrey Comic Con Henson. Thank you, Needmo Comics. Thank you, John's Comics with Kids. Thank you, Mr. Garrel. Thank you, Nerdy Couch. Thank you. Who else? JP's Budget and Collecting. Discovery Bay. DS Comics. Backseat Driver 5280. Joe Ryan Comics. Wapty Bird. Daniel Yabara. Dre Boogie. H-Town Comics, Perry Comics, Ruben Nieves, and I probably missed Tomb of Comics and others. I am sorry if I missed you, but have a good day, guys. I'm gonna probably be reading comic books for the rest of the day. I'm 3 issues behind on my Wednesday pull list. I've got a lot of graphic novels here sitting around that need to be read, so thank you so much, and have a great St. Paddy's, everybody. Cheers.